Yo, what's up guys, it's Gumwings here, back with another video, and today we got a reaction video. Today we're gonna react to Mr. Nightmare, 3 True Scary Halloween Stories. This will be the Halloween special this year. I know that I didn't really do much for Halloween this year. I kinda got busy this year, so that's why. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please hit the like button. If you're new, please subscribe. And if you are subscribed, hit that post notification bell because I don't have a schedule. Anyways, let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Story number 1.
Halloween
Got
used to be one of my
chills.
favorite holidays. Now I kind of just enjoy it when I have a decent party to go to.
Mhm.
In 2018, when I was a senior in college, my friend Tracy's sorority was going to be throwing a big Halloween party at the sorority house. She said I could bring one friend since they didn't want too many outsiders at the party. So I invited my best friend Cody. We're very last minute people when it comes to Halloween costumes. The party was that night and we didn't have anything.
Just
Cody
close
was
yourself
working
or make
late, so
something
he'd have
up.
to meet me right before the party. So he asked me to get a costume for him, and he just Venmo me the money. I ran to the nearby Spirit Halloween store that opened up like 5 minutes from my house. I was just shotgunning it. I picked a Where's Waldo costume for myself and a Superman costume for Cody, both two of the cheaper costumes they had. Everything was normal until I got to the cashier. I was on the phone with Cody, telling him about the costume I got him and giving him details about the party.
Mhm.
I told him which sorority it was, that Tracy got us the invite, gave him the address, and then he convinced me to pick him up instead of us just meeting, stuff like that. All of this was said as the cashier was watching me. He was some guy who was decently older than me, but because of his receding hairline, I couldn't put a gauge on it as to whether he was in his 30s or low 40s.
You know he's showing up at the party, bro. He's gonna show up at the party. He's dropping on you guys. He's gonna show up at the party. He's gonna be in all costume, and he's gonna do something at the party. He's gonna do something. That's a you can already tell what's going on. Like I
He
watched
wore
this stuff
glasses
so
though,
much
and
times
had
that I
a
already know what's going
skinny-ish
on.
build and an awkward presence. As he rang up the two costumes, he had
It's
a
too
comment
cliche if
something
you think
along the
about it.
lines of, "Sounds like you have a fun party tonight, huh?"
If the
I
cashier goes to
chuckled
the
and said
party, it's
yeah.
pretty much cliche.
Then he started asking more details, like if it's open invite, and had a comment about there being lots of girls. I
Yeah, he's
said
gonna
it's
show
closed
up.
invite and that
It's
I barely
cliche.
got an
He is
invite.
showing up.
He said it's all good. Then he shook my hand and introduced himself as Mike.
He's
So
gonna
I
be at
did
the
the
party.
same and told him my name was Sean, and I left.
He's gonna be like, oh,
It was
Sean
weird.
brought me. He's gonna be like,
Fast
Sean
forward
sent
to
me
later
to the
that night.
party.
I picked up Cody and we arrived to the party around 10 p.m. It sounded loud inside, and there were multiple groups of people entering the house before us. At the door, a girl asked us who we knew there, and I told her Tracy. She let us in, and we were in this huge living room area.
Oh, so he's gonna be like, so the guy's gonna, I think his name is Mike. I wasn't paying attention that much, but I'm pretty sure his name is Mike. He's gonna show up at the house. It's gonna be like, they're gonna ask him who does he know. It's gonna be like Sean, and then he's gonna cause a mess, and it's all gonna be Sean's fault, bro.
Music blasting, all the lights dimmed low, Halloween decorations everywhere, and to top it off, people with red cups full of booze crowding the place. We saw Tracy and hung around her for a while. We played beer pong and other drinking games. It was a very legit party. But then, at some point, there was a commotion by the front door area. Cody, Tracy, and I, and a few others walked over, and the girl at the door started calling out, "Where's Tracy?" She came forward, and the girl asked, "Who is Sean?" I said, "I am." Then she asked me who that creepy guy we invited was. I was confused and said,
Ooh.
"Who?" She described some older-looking man in a
See, I
cowboy
told you he's
costume
showing
with a
up.
thick mustache. He apparently inappropriately touched one of the girls trying to get her into a separate room, and she screamed for help. He took
Dang.
off with something in his pocket. None of the guys chased after him or anything. Immediately, I thought of the cashier from Spirit Halloween. I told them about it, and everyone got even more creeped out. The party went on, but they were a lot more cautious about who they were letting in. They even considered calling the cops for a second. That whole thing really killed my vibe, and we didn't stay much longer after that. In total, we were probably at the party for a couple hours at most. We left a little past midnight, I think. I didn't drink much. As I started my car, the car parked like 2 cars behind us also turned on. and as I drove in the direction of Cody's house, the car started to follow. Cody and I were sure it had to be him after it made 4 of the same turns, so I pulled to the side of the road, egging him on to pull over, but the car just stopped for a few seconds, then basically floored it past us. We didn't get a good look at who was inside, but I'm still positive it was him.
Probably.
After dropping off Cody down the block from his house, just being cautious, I was staying very aware of my surroundings, and because of that, I noticed a car in the near distance with its lights off, tailing me. It looked like the same car. I got to a main road, once again pulled over and waited. The car once again waited, and then a few seconds later turned on its lights and floored it in the far left lane, passing me. I was obviously shook, and drove home as fast as I could while I was sure I wasn't being followed. I called that Spirit Halloween location the next day and reported the cashier. They thanked me for the information, but I never.
What are you gonna
went back
do?
there, so
You have
I
no
wouldn't know
evidence
if
that
he
it's
was
actually
fired
him.
or anything. Looking back, I wonder if I could have and should have pressed charges. Regardless,
What could you have done? How can you prove that was him though? Like, I know it's cliche and then like it seems like it's him, but like you have no evidence, so how could you know it's him? It could be like some maybe he sent a guy, like he told his buddy that's lonely and he's a creep and he went to the party, but who knows? Like, you don't know, it could be anyone,
I have no
but
idea what he
it
could
could
have
be
possibly
most likely
wanted
him.
from me. But either way, I'm happy he didn't find out where I live.
Yeah, but I doubt like if you actually like press charges, that's going to do anything, because you can't prove that it's him unless he confesses like, oh yeah, it was him.
Halloween of 2019 was the most terrifying night of my life.
Was that
I
last
live
year?
in Australia, and because we don't celebrate Halloween
Yeah, that was
as
last year.
enthusiastically, we don't get as many
I had a candy
around
last
5 or
year.
6 people at most. I am personally a huge fan of Halloween though, to the dismay of my parents who would prefer not to acknowledge it. Obviously that leaves me in charge of putting up decorations and handing out candy.
Mhm.
This particular year,
I'm too old to go
Halloween
trick or
fell on
treating.
a
I'm just
school
handing out
night, and
candy.
The storm began just after 6 o'clock, which unfortunately meant my efforts preparing the decorations had pretty much gone to waste. Ignoring my better judgment, I still waited for trick-or-treaters in the living room and watched The Conjuring to pass the time. Around an hour and a half later, I got a message from my friend M on our group chat, asking if anyone would like to mess around and go trick-or-treating.
It's
At
raining.
first I was confused. We hadn't gone trick-or-treating in over 5 years. But I decided it would make the night more enjoyable, as nobody was knocking on the door anyway. My other friends, who I'll call S, C, and H, all agreed and asked M where we should meet up.
You gave them
M
all letter
quickly replied
names.
he couldn't make it, which was strange, because he was the one who offered to go trick-or-treating. But he suggested a house which has lots of candy. Me, S, C, and H all arrived at the house within half an hour. A large table with a pumpkin bowl filled with lollipops stood at the front porch.
Take all of it.
After
Just
checking
take all of
windows
it.
to make sure we weren't being watched, we emptied the bowl between us, only leaving a few to avoid suspicion. As we turned around to leave, we were greeted by 2 men dressed as clowns approaching us up the driveway. They had huge painted smiles and tilted heads. I could tell we were all creeped out, and one of my friends screamed as they started bolting towards us, one squeaking its rubber nose as they chased.
My
After
God.
running for what felt like an eternity, we finally lost them. We decided to go to M's house so we could discuss what just happened in a safe area. However, when M answered the door, he burst into laughter. "What the hell are you guys doing?" he said, confused. "You
He
told
tricked
us
them.
to go trick-or-treating. Can you just let us inside?" S replied.
It was a
After
setup.
sitting down on
It was a
M's
setup to
couch,
scare them.
we all
It was a
soon
setup.
realized M had lost his phone earlier that day, and a stranger had suggested the idea of going to that house.
Okay, you lost your phone. Do you not have a password? Like, honest, do you not have a password? How are you going to text everybody and then like it's unlocked? Unless like he left it on the whole time. Like it never went into sleep mode. It was on the whole time. He had a charger, he charged it the whole time so it wouldn't die. But like, wouldn't you need a password to open your? Does he not have a password? The only way I can see it happening is that the phone was on. Like pretend my phone's on. Okay, see my phone's on. It never went into sleep mode. The guy somehow left it on charging, and like it never turned off. Like the screen never went black. That's the only way I can see it. The other way I can see this is like he didn't have a password, which is dumb. Like why wouldn't you have a password?
Presumably some sort of trap from the clowns. After another half hour, I cautiously made it home by 9:30, finished my movie, and went outside to collect the candy bowl I set up. I was shocked to see the bowl was completely empty. However, my stomach turned when I saw a clown nose was now laying inside of it. I told my parents everything that happened, and showed them the clown nose that had been left at our house. They assured me it was just some Halloween prank. I woke up around 1 a.m. to noises coming from my bedroom window, like rocks hitting the glass. Although I was scared half to death, my curiosity got the better of me, and I eventually opened the blinds.
I'm not ready for the jump scare, bro. I am not ready. Okay. There's no jump scare.
My Halloween decorations were destroyed and lit. I eventually opened the blinds. My Halloween decorations were destroyed and littered the ground below. I stared motionless in complete shock until a lollipop was thrown at the window, breaking my trance. I looked up and saw them. The two clowns perched upon the neighbor's roof, looking down at me. I screamed and ran away towards my parents' room.
Got
I
chills.
skipped the details that followed, but the police were called and the clowns were not found.
That
The
in
officers informed us
costumes.
they would
How
check
would they
out
ever
the
be
house my
found?
friends and I trick-or-treated at, and they left in about half an hour. The following morning, we were told the house was abandoned, and M's phone was discovered inside. That day at school, I learned M, S, C, and H all had creepy experiences during the night as well. I'm not sure if the clowns followed us home or they somehow tracked us through M's phone. All I know is that
He
Halloween
kept
is only a few
their
weeks
addresses
away,
on his
and I
phone,
am
bro.
completely terrified they'll return.
He kept the address on his. He kept all their addresses on his phone.
It was a stormy Halloween night. I was with
Isn't
my
it
three
always
friends,
raining on
John,
Halloween?
Mary,
Like
and
I
Keenan.
kind of remember. I think maybe last year. I think the year before, maybe 2018, where like it hasn't rained on Halloween. Mind you, I live in the north. Like, if you live in my area, and this, you might be able to see rain. Like, it's just, if you live in the Toronto area, like anything like Toronto, like maybe Niagara, maybe New York, maybe Buffalo, you might experience rain. But like wherever I lived, it was always raining on Halloween. Like I cannot remember a time where it did not rain. Like it's always been raining on Halloween. If it rains, like it's always been raining, bro.
Since we didn't have any real plans and were kind of just hanging around, I decided to grab the Ouija board from my closet. All my friends were down to try it.
See,
I
if
wanted
I
to be
whoa
funny,
whoa
but
whoa whoa whoa,
also
go
set
back,
the
go back.
All my friends were down to try it. I decided to grab the Ouija board from my closet. All my friends were down to try it.
Okay, it's somewhere here. Damn. Okay. Is this some kind of game? Like I don't get the reference game here. This either could be Last of Us. I don't think this is Last of Us. Maybe H1Z1. Maybe PUBG. But like, what game reference is this, guys? Tell me in the comment section down below. What game reference is this?
I wanted to be funny, but also set the mood, so I got 3 candles, lit them, and turned off all the lights.
See, if I had
4 of
friends
us sat
that
at
would
the
want to
table
try
with our
with
hands
me,
on the planchette.
I would do it.
We started
Like,
off
I would
by
take the
saying,
risk.
"Is anyone there?" Of course, the planchette started to move, and we all started to laugh. It went from Y to E.
Bro, if I
to
get creeped
S,
out, I'm saying goodbye.
spelling yes. John and I began asking the really stupid, goofy questions, like,
God.
"Will you haunt Mary?" And she kept begging us to stop. But as the planchette moved to once again spell out the word yes, we all erupted into
Why
laughter.
would it spell yes? There's literally a section where it can say yes. Why would it need to spell yes? It's like, you guys are playing. Like, it could literally just move to yes. Secondly, if you get creeped out, I'm saying goodbye and then I'm done. Like, we're gonna make a salt circle, say goodbye, done. I'm done. Like, if that's when like things really start going like south. Like, let's say like I don't know, a candle goes out, I'm saying goodbye. If like a light switches, I'm saying goodbye. Like the moment something goes wrong, I'm saying goodbye. Like I'm not like waiting till stuff happens. I'm I'm saying goodbye. Leave the Ouija board in the salt circle. Don't clean it up, and then we'll see what happens.
To be honest, I didn't even contribute to moving the piece around the board. I just assumed John and Keenan were messing around for the most part. Then, without anyone asking a question, the planchette started moving to spell the words, "I'm inside the house." More laughs, until there was a huge, very obvious thump sound from directly upstairs.
That sounded real. Let me go back, because I thought I had something in my house, but then I realized I'm on the top floor, and like there's an attic above. Like I got creeped out, because there might be someone in my attic. Let's go back.
Until there was a huge, very obvious thump sound from directly upstairs. Like right over our heads. It most closely resembled...
Yo, that's creeping me out, bro. Like it legit sounds like there's something in my house now. It made me think that there's something in my house. If I die, if I die, I die!
Stomping on the floor. All of us jumped. Mary started screaming and freaking out. John, Keenan, and I didn't know whether to laugh or be freaked out. My parents weren't home. No one was except for me. We don't have any pets.
Jump scares.
Suddenly, the doorbell rang. We looked at each other. Then I went to look through the peephole. I opened the door. It was a dad and his young son trick-or-treating under an umbrella. I opened the door and handed the kids some candies. But once I shut the door, it was back to the current reality of the situation, which was figuring out what the hell that sound was. I convinced all three of them to come upstairs with me just to check. We all got to the upstairs hallway. All that was on was a nightlight plugged into the floor outlet. We were halfway through the hallway, approaching my parents' bedroom, which was the room directly above the table we were sitting at, where we heard the noise.
I have chills,
That's
bro.
When we all heard the same thing. It was this voice of a girl. What was said, none of us could hear it, but all four of us agreed we heard the voice of a girl in my parents' room, followed by the sound of something being dropped on the floor. Mary and Keenan ran down the stairs, freaked out, but not making a peep. John and I, however, approached the door. I opened it quietly and pushed it open slowly.
There's gonna be something in the room. I'm skipping.
We stayed in the room.
Okay. It's not that scary.
I saw something tall standing in the far corner of the room. I slammed the door shut and we ran down the stairs. We stayed in the living room and flicked on the lights.
You didn't say goodbye!
I noticed one of the candles by the Ouija board was blown out. I called the cops, and a few minutes later, when an officer arrived, I asked him to check my parents' bedroom. I led him up the stairs and pointed at the door. He knocked on it and announced police, then opened the door quickly and flicked on the light.
Nothing.
Checked the closet, under the bed, nothing. That's when we followed and entered the room as well, and I could confirm no one was in there. While we were at it, we checked every single bedroom and bathroom.
You didn't say goodbye! You had to say goodbye!
Could be hiding. After the police officer left, we threw the Ouija board in the neighbor's garbage, and we all sat under the awning in my backyard.
You're gonna get haunted. You do not throw away a Ouija. You have to burn it. It has to be on fire, it has to be burnt, and then there has to be no remaining stuff. It has to turn to ashes. This all happened because you didn't say goodbye.
After telling the story to my parents together, eventually my friends left. My parents seemed to believe us, but what could they really do? I didn't sleep too well that night, and obviously I have no plans of using a Ouija board ever again.
You're still gonna get haunted, bro. You're still gonna get haunted. You didn't say goodbye, and you didn't burn it. You threw it away. It's still out there. You're still gonna get haunted. You're getting haunted for life. Anyways, let's get on to the review. Okay, so like this was the Halloween special. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. I would give this video a 7 out of 10. The Ouija board story kind of lost me a bit because it all could have been prevented if you just said goodbye. Like, I cannot stress this enough. If you're playing on a Ouija board and you want to dip, don't just leave the piece. Say goodbye, because at least maybe the ghost won't haunt you or the ghost won't get mad at you. If you just leave, it's gonna haunt you. So, yeah. The party one, you can kind of see them a mile away. Like, yeah, maybe the cashier was going to the party, but like them addressing that it was him, and then like want to press charges, I just felt fault in there. Because even if it was him and you assume it's him, what evidence is it that it's actually him? Like, you're not gonna. There's no way to prove it unless the guy confesses that it's him. And then again, what can you charge him for? Trespassing? I think that's the only thing you can maybe trespassing, maybe sexual harassment because he touched a girl inappropriately. So maybe, but that's if he confesses, and that's if it's actually him. So who knows if it was him or not. Second one felt like a setup. Like, like how do you lose your phone and then they have access to it? How do you not? It's like you didn't have a password, or you left your phone on the entire time. Like it never went into sleep mode. It was just it was never, you never like turned it off. It was on the whole time. So like, how does that happen? That had to be a setup. It just had to be a Halloween setup. Anyways guys, I just hope that you enjoyed this Halloween video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new, please subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure you hit that post notification bell because I don't have a schedule. Anyways, peace out.
You better love it.